Hi, I'm Kim Murphy, Executive Director of Taunton Community Access and Media, and I'd like to offer a big congratulations to Lucy Cabral and Dom Damiano for their 10th anniversary of 4 Deep Sports.
Hi, I'm Steve Callahan. I'm the owner of WVBF 1530 AM and soon to be 99.7 FM here in southeastern Massachusetts. And I would like to thank my good friend Dominic Damiano for 10 years of service to the broadcasting community and also to the youth sports programs throughout all of southeastern Massachusetts. Dominic really does care about local sports, and he cares about the local young people who do participate in those sports. So congratulations, Dominic. Here's to another 10 years.
WAR, all one word, 4deepsportstalk.com. Happy anniversary to us. This is our 10th year highlighting high school and youth sports. And just like when we started 10 years ago, we have a Middleboro squad in. Years ago was the Middleboro swim team. But we are very happy to be joined by the 2017 Division VI Massachusetts State Champions, the Middleboro Sachems, with Coach Kingman. Guys, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
So let's do this. Look, why don't we have you guys introduce yourselves, because everyone knows Coach Kingman. I'll recognize his voice. And if you if you want to watch the guys on the stream, just go to our website, all one word, 4deepsportstalk.com. Hit us, watch us live button, and then, or if you're driving around, we don't want to see you get an accident watching the guys at the studio. So you can hit the podcast button and listen if you can't pick it up back in Middleboro. So why don't we do that? Why don't you guys introduce yourselves? And again, like I said before, just pass the mic around. Move the mic will move.
All right, I'm senior captain 34, Jeremy Soul.
Sean McCarthy, number 5.
Colin O'Brien, number 7. Evan Bush, senior quarterback.
And Coach Kingman in the background. Coach, let me start with you. Let's talk about this season. I mean, you have a very intense program, and I've talked to a lot of coaches, and I do the tech stuff over at BP, and I think every year you guys are always competing. That's to do with your program. And my question to you, as soon as I think I had a couple questions, I'm bad for that. I'm already thinking of the second question. But what do you attribute that to? The way you format your from double sessions all the way, the off season for conditioning. How does that all come about?
I mean, there's a lot of hard work. I think it always goes back to the group of kids that you have.
Yeah.
Some strong leadership, guys that want to. I think it's really guys that want to do better than the year past or years past, or show that they're maybe a little bit better than their buddies or their friends. I think competition is always is the key. We had this conversation with this group all the time. There's if Evan takes the ball and carries it for 10 yards, Jeremy might rip it out of his hands the next play so he can get 12, or if Colin catches a ball, and he breaks a tackle, there's 3 other receivers out there that wanted the ball the next play to go a little bit further, or Sean's on defense and he makes an interception. I can guarantee there's a couple other DBs back there that are trying to hawk the ball the next time, So I think that's the big thing that we've tried to instill in the program is to compete every single day. We don't really talk about this a lot. I was having this conversation with some coaches in our AD, Ryan Sylvia, about now that you win some state championship, people think that you know something, And I've been invited to talk to at some clinics and some things, and I think the one thing that we've really tried to establish at Middleboro, and I don't know if it's a philosophical, I don't know if we have a name for it or anything like that, but I like to call it like the one rep system, and I think these guys can kind of tell you a little bit about it as we go. we've decided that as a program, we're going to start our freshman practice with us every single day. So we don't have a separation between freshman, JV, and varsity practice. And it starts from the time we go into meetings until the time we get off the field. So, in other programs and other places, it might be just the freshmen carry all the equipment out. These guys will let you know right now, Evan carried the ball bag out every day this year.
Yeah.
These guys would grab a piece of equipment and walk it out to the field. And, if a freshman grabs something, they grab something. If a sophomore grabs something, they grab something. And once we get on the field, it really works into that one rep thing, meaning that, if Jeremy's at running back and we're doing a specific drill, he may only get one rep at it.
Yeah.
Guess what? The freshman player that's on there only gets one rep at it. We don't give you the chance to do the drill over just to get better at it. I know that sounds kind of strange, but in my mind, and I think these guys tell you the same thing, life's not a dress rehearsal. You don't get to replay the plays over very often in a football game. And as we do things in practice, we may walk through a period. So if we have a team script, for instance, we may walk through that team script. But once we get to our team period, we only run that play once. We don't rerun the play very often.
Oh, wow.
So we script every single play that we run all year long for every practice. So we don't go out there and just wing it. Every play that we run during practice is scripted. Every defensive play that we run during practice is scripted with calls, plays, everything. And you don't rerun the plays. We have before, and maybe it happens maybe on a Thursday. These guys might laugh about that a little bit. But we may rerun a period.
Okay.
Or we may have started practice over it at one point. But once we get into that system and do that, our guys know. And what ends up happening, I think this is the beauty of it, is we don't have to now, when a kid becomes a sophomore or a junior, retrain them on what drills or routes or landmarks or any of that kind of stuff. That stuff starts freshman year, and when they come in as sophomores, they know where they're supposed to be or what they're supposed to do. And now when they're juniors, there's no problems. And then when you become a senior, there's always that kid that's a senior that surprises you a little bit.
Yeah.
It's because they're not having to play catch up every single year. Now they know where they're supposed to be. Now they can just worry about playing some ball.
Oh, so that kind of takes care of that, I guess, the repetition part, working the freshmen, because they're so used to the system, because they'll see Jeremy doing whoever you believe is going to be his replacement, who earns a spot.
And
right?
these guys can tell you, as a freshman group, there's times when we're in preseason where, say, we do pass Skelly.
Yeah.
Everybody would think that, okay, the first group's going to go out there and run Skelly first. We have times where we'll go to a practice and we'll go, all right, freshmen are up first. And we just installed these plays in our meeting room. We tell the freshmen, get up there. 4 receivers, for a running back and a quarterback, that's all freshmen. And we might put out the older guys out on defense, and you got to go run the plays right now.
I think that's unique. I never really heard that, because you always hear, even when I played, and probably when you played, where, do it again, run the play again. Where'd you miss the block? You're playing the sub-varsity, against the varsity, getting the plays down, and you never really hear that.
Right. It happens occasionally, because I think sometimes you have some stuff, and I think that what ended up happening, especially this year, for me, is I think there's a huge difference between being called the offensive coordinator and being the play caller.
Okay. So
if you looked at what happened this year throughout our scripting of practice, so we had a couple guys, specifically Greg O'Sullivan and Mike Granfield, but those guys, as we got further in the year, they scripted our offensive practice.
Oh, wow.
So I don't script the plays that we run during practice. They script the plays based on what they're watching on film and what we think we need work on, because we're meeting together after practice. They script those plays. Coach O'Sullivan then goes on the other side, and he runs our scout team at that time. So he's putting the looks that we think we're going to see against certain plays, and all I do is read off the script to these guys, and they call the play.
Yeah.
And
that
then,
makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, it's a lot easier that way. So then when it comes to game day, I'm just calling the plays. Those guys can be in my ear and say, hey, we worked on this, or we did this, or, if you get a good enough quarterback, he might even tell you during the state championship, hey, run this play, and you go, okay, run the play, and it works, something like that. So, and that's happened before, but those are just some of the little things that we've tried to do.
So, guys, how is it adapting to all these plays? Learn them really quick, or what?
I mean, in youth football, we didn't really run the offense that Coach Kingman had for us. But once we got used to it, like midway through freshman year, we just started picking up more plays every week, every year. It was actually very easy.
Now, when I played football in high school, I got to do something cool. I got to score a touchdown. And the question I have is, do you have a favorite professional football player?
It's gotta be Tom Brady for me.
Yeah.
You can all say the same one if you want. I'm totally with you. For me, it's Tom Brady.
Now or when I was a kid? That's
You can say either if you want.
Gosh, I don't even watch it enough now.
No?
No, but when I was a kid, this is going to sound really bad. It was Cornelius Bennett.
Oh, that's a good pick.
Yeah,
That's a good pick. I was Andre Tippett,
yeah.
Back in the day. So, we got a call. Let's take this first call. Actually paying attention. Hi, you're first on 4 Deep Sports Talk as we highlight the Middleboro Statesman Super Bowl championship team. Let's get those phones on. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, this is, I got a phone question for Coach Kingman and some of the other players.
Absolutely. Coach, got a question for you.
Coach Kingman, I just heard you talking about how your assistant coaches script practice and then they kind of talk to you during the game. How often do you rely on them during the game for play calls?
How often do I rely on them for play calls?
What I'm trying to say is, do you think that your assistant coaches give you great ideas during the game?
I'll tell you one thing. I have one.
Play calls?
I have one assistant that is up top in the booth that is called more deep touchdown passes than I can remember. Probably for the first 5 years compared to the last 2 years. He went up top and he'd be like, hey, you gotta hit the O'Brien kid over the top, or they're in 3 deep right now. You gotta throw the verts. I won't tell the play calls, but and this guy did an outstanding job. So.
Man, sounds like a really special guy. Second question, I just heard about adapting to play calls and stuff. This kind of goes to all the players in the studio right now. I know, obviously, Evan was the starting quarterback, but some of you other guys, did you guys have any other backup positions? And if so, who would you say was the second best quarterback on the team?
Oh, easily me.
I don't know. I have to disagree with that a little bit. I put in the effort every practice. Getting ready just in case. So I prepared more. So I'm gonna have to go with myself on that.
And the funny thing is, and the about the call is every one of these guys here is actually played backup quarterback.
Wow. So you kind of get the wildcat in the back of your mind just in case. Would that be fair?
No, we were just trying to find a backup quarterback. But I mean,
so how do all you guys adapt to learning the quarterback position while you're focusing on several different positions?
Great coaching.
Great coach.
Great coaching. Thought so. Now this question goes directly to Evan Gavush. Evan, you kind of took off this year and had a breakout season. What would you dedicate that to?
I mean, I just had to thank my quarterback coach. He's been working with me since day one, all 4 years. Working on the little stuff, and I think just kind of accumulating with this season, and felt good.
All right, Coach. That's all the questions I have for you. Congratulations on the Super Bowl.
Thank you for the call.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, if you want to call back, we apologize. We missed the caller. Call back 508-222-1320. It is our 10th year anniversary. How are we doing for time? Ready for a break? Okay. You are listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the news station, 1320 AM WARA, and online, all one word, 4deepsportstalk.com. We are highlighting the 2017 Middleboro Statesman's Division 6 Massachusetts State Champions on our 10th anniversary show. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hi, my name is Adam Kitchen. I'm here on behalf of Swansea Cable Access TV, wishing 4 Deep Sports Talk a happy 10-year anniversary. Congratulations to you. We hope to have more content from you to air here on Swansea Cable Access TV.
Hi, Keith Tebow from Fall River Community Media. I want to wish 4 Deep Sports Talk a very happy 10th anniversary, many more years of success, and we look forward to airing it on FRC Media. Congratulations.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Cody, and we're from TV9, and we're just wishing 4 Deep Sports Talk
a happy 10-year anniversary.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to 4 Deep Sports Talk here at the news station, 1320 AM WARA. I'm Craig Salvador, joined as always by Dom Damiano, Lucy Cabral, and Justin Ferrer. And we are joined today by Middleboro High School's football Super Bowl champions. So you guys started a new league this year, right? You were going in this season, a new league and new division, right? So as a coach and as players, how do you prepare for that, for the new league, the new competition, and everything?
I mean, we prepared just like how we would prepare every other year. We just play who's ever in front of us.
I think one thing about our program is, we really try to focus on what we do. We obviously game plan each week on what we know we're going to see, but like Coach Kingman was talking about earlier, working on the little things and the repetition, if we can perfect or try to perfect what we do best, we can always adjust on the fly each week.
All right, my question to you is now, between you, you guys have your own deal as far as how you condition. What did you guys want to work on personally, between you 4 guys? What do you want to work on this year to get ready for, I mean, you didn't know you were going to go, you were hoping, everyone's hoping you go to the Super Bowl, but it takes work ethic. So what's your individual work ethic that you like to work on, that you want to get ready for, especially this season, or in the past, because the young kids that'll listen to the show, they're going to play for Coach Kingman, they definitely want to steal your ideas because it worked. So I just thought, you each have your own set, the way you probably work out. Maybe you could share it with the people listening.
Yeah, I think the big thing for all of us, that kind of goes for the whole team, is everybody, as much as we work on individual things and, perfecting our technique, I think the biggest thing that gets you to those, state championship games or those deep playoff runs is, working together and developing that chemistry and camaraderie. And this summer, even with passing league and, getting that taste of victory in the Under Armour tournament, and then just carrying that over into the season, and quarterback for receivers, me and Colin and the other guys. I mean, we'll play together for a long time, but as you saw in the Super Bowl, just knowing where they're going to be and having that chemistry, I think that goes a long way, and that's something that it takes a while to work on, but it's super important.
Now, what about individually though? I mean, you touched on a little bit about how you guys gel together through through youth and then where you are today. But individually, did you guys, like Colin, did you have something you worked on to get yourself ready for this year?
On the off season, I definitely worked on going to the gym, being able to get stronger and be able to, be better than I was last year. I've always wanted to be the best I could be.
Absolutely. How about you? Do you have anything you want to?
One thing that was huge for us this year was definitely speed. I mean, our wideouts, everyone's backups, defense, everyone's just flying around, flying to the ball, and that was huge for us this year. And we took advantage of our speed, and it definitely helped us in the long run, helped us get to where we're at.
I'm not like these guys. I'm not as fast, so I relied a little more on my strength. So I just worked on getting a lot stronger this summer, and like Coach Kingman says, hard work is undefeated.
How fast do you guys usually have to run?
Pretty fast.
Fast as we need to.
That's an honest question right there. So it'd be fair to say, try to beat the other guys who doesn't get you. Because I remember in the Dover Sherborne, you were hurt and you had to come out. I think you came out. I think you played 2 sets offense, or a set and a half, and then you sat down. Now, what was your injury again?
I sprained my ankle in the Norwell game, the first one.
Okay, in the Norwell game. Okay, and then you got hurt, right? In which game?
Old Rochester.
Slide that over so we can. Old Rochester. You mean the frozen tundra when it was like concrete out there?
Yeah, it was.
Now, how far did you go, Mac? How far did you go into that game? I forget.
I was just like maybe 5 minutes into the first quarter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't play much of it at all.
It was a second series?
Yep.
It was the second series?
Yeah.
So then you're hurting for numbers. But I'll tell you, one thing about your team that you guys is generally, even the offensive line, so fast. And Coach, I was curious, what do you work on that, especially with the linemen, for them to be so quick? What technique do you guys use?
You want to talk about our O-line?
Oh, your O-line.
Yeah. We'll talk about that.
Can we stretch that mic a little bit further out to him? Just there you go. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, now that the season's over, we can kind of joke around with this a little bit. We had a running joke within the coaching staff that the offensive line this year was the land of misfit toys. You know, we really didn't have a starter on the offensive line, a returning starter whatsoever.
Okay.
We had our left tackle was a guy that hadn't played a lot of varsity football or varsity football snap. That was a kid that just, you know, was a great program kid that works his tail off, that wanted to be really good. And then our left guard was a third string running back. You know, our starting center was a kid that, you know, we thought was our biggest kid that we thought could play for us, but hadn't proven it at you know, overall at any level yet. You know, there was times where, and we love Robbie, but there was times that we had to, you know, put him on the sidelines occasionally. He'd get so mad because a snap would go here or there. And then our right guard called me and told me he wasn't going to play football this summer.
Oh my God!
So, and then our right tackle was an old wide receiver that couldn't catch. So,
are you serious?
Yeah. So, that was our offensive line this year. I think, but part of it was, and these guys will tell you, we do some things in practice. If you've seen us play, we run quite a bit of screen. With our bubbles and our jailbreaks and all that kind of stuff. And I think part of what helped out this year, more than any other year, is that some of those guys that were former skill guys had been on the other side of that. They've had to catch the ball in those areas and realize how important it is to have guys out in front of you blocking on those plays. And that's one thing that we did really well, talking about speed and those guys being former skill guys, that speed now came from the offensive line, would get out in the perimeter and block for some of our skill guys out there, and they knew what it was like to be a running back or a receiver and not have anybody out there in front of you and get walloped a couple times. So those guys really busted their tail to get better and do some things. They also, you know, they're used to blocking and doing things like that. So it was more just learning terminology and being in the right spot. And I know that sometimes it looks like we do a lot of different things offensively, but we only have like 4 plays. Really.
4 plays, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of our blocking schemes are similar. We just kind of put some stuff.
Yeah, mix it up
a little bit. So those guys did a great job. They worked hard, and they worked with Coach Fernandez every day down the offensive line, and Coach Keach down there, and Coach Patello, and then when the running backs get over there, protection-wise, they work together with that kind of stuff. And I don't think we slowed down at all. I
definitely didn't see a slowdown.
We didn't slow down at all. I think it also helps when you got kids that play on the line that are football savvy, that understand football. They may not be the biggest or the strongest, but they know how it's supposed to work
and how you want it done.
I think it. I can go look back. I think it was probably the first day of practice, and we call perfect play, and we were running a sweep play that we were running.
Hold on 1 minute, caller.
And we were running a sweep play. I think it was to the right or left. And the line, I think that's the one day we did run plays over because they had never done it before. And I'm like, you have to get to this landmark because they weren't going there. And finally we did it, and they were gassed because they were on like the sideline at that point. But once they figured that out, that we need to go here instead of there, it was pretty good.
How you on next on 4 Deep? Oh, ready? Sorry about that. How you on next on 4 Deep Sports Talk?
Hi.
Hi.
It's your daughter.
Oh, it's my daughter calling.
Hey.
Hi, my daughter. What's going on?
Hi.
Hi. You're on the radio, you know.
I am.
She never called. 10 years, she's never called the radio.
Well, I just want to say congratulations on 10 years and congratulations to Middleboro.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. They appreciate that. And thank you for listening. I know you're always busy.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. All right, I love you. I'll see you soon.
All right, love you too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for calling. That was cool. My daughter called. She hadn't called in 10 years. Wow. That was pretty cool.
They never really
explained why nobody would want a Charlie in the box on the island of misfit toys.
That's a good one. That's a good one. You definitely had skilled players playing on that O line.
Yeah.
Because I always saw Jeremy and when you had Evan bubble out, try to hit one of the guys that were open. I mean, they were already almost like second level. It looked like, you know what I mean, at that second level. I want to say, because as quick as they were at times, and this is no disrespect to any of these other teams I've seen them play, but it seems like just the way they execute, the traps were always on. Even when you did your sweeps or your jets, they were always, seemed like for the most part, they were always there. Every now and then a guy got beat, but it seemed like because of their speed and their ability, like you said, the savvy of the game,
Yeah.
it helped out a lot.
I mean, I'm these guys will tell you the same thing. I'm kind of cliche-ish on certain things that I say, and I'm probably like any coach. And I think Ev can tell you this one. Football is an imperfect game that we try to play perfectly. I say that one quite a bit. The one thing, and hopefully these guys will back me up a little bit on this. The one thing that we try to preach, especially offensively, for us, is that every play that we run during a game, we try to score on. So there's no 3rd and 2 play to get 2 yards.
Yeah.
It's 3rd and 2 to try to score 6.
Right.
So I think and I'm speaking probably for other people or other places that I've been or things like that. You see those fancy cards that coaches have. And
Yeah.
They have their plays on it, and
Right.
sometimes I think they're calling plays to try to get a first down or to do this. It doesn't matter the situation. We're trying to score on every single rep that we run.
All right, we have another call.
Sure, getting a lot of calls today.
We are.
That's great.
How you on next on 4 Deep Sports Talk? Hello? Hello? Oh, I think we lost him. Please call back, 508-222-1320. Oh, we lost that call. So so it's safe to say a lot of coaches that I've seen that I've worked with, they believe in the situation. Oh, it's this situation. This is definitely going to work. And they'll put 3 or 4 plays you've probably seen in the past. You guys probably saw on youth level, where they're saying, all right, these 4 plays are going to get us that on 3rd down. We're going to open it up on 2nd down. 1st down, this is a bang bang play. So it's safe to say that's not your philosophy.
Yeah,
correct?
I think if it's like 3rd and 6, we're going to have a play called that we feel is going to get 6 yards. But if you watch some of the stuff that happens when the plays are going on, which I think is extraordinary, is that our line is always running downfield, or our receivers are always making the extra block or doing things like that. So, I think it may be to get 6 yards,
Yep.
but it's also to get 6 points. Like, we're not gonna just stop it at the 6 yards, or we're gonna play it safe just to get 2. We want to try to get it in the end zone every single play and score as many points as we can.
Yeah, keep going. Don't
That's
stop.
it. That's it.
All right, just like that, we're going to take our second break. When we come back, Craig Salvador and Justin Ferreira, the sports master, will have the rundown of the boys and girls basketballs that we have available for us. Then we'll come back with Middleboro. You are listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the news station, 1320 AM WARA, and online, all one word, 4deepsportstalk.com. We are celebrating our 10th year, highlighting high school and youth sports in southeastern Massachusetts. And today we have the privilege of covering the 2017 Division VI Middleboro Sachems, the Massachusetts State Champions. We'll be back with more right after this.
For 10 years, one program has covered the high school and youth sports scene here in southeastern Massachusetts like no other.
You are listening and watching 4 Deep Sports Talk.
Dominic Damiano has welcomed listeners and viewers to his show, which focuses on young student athletes, including covering live events online and interviewing them on his radio simulcast, filling a void on the airwaves that he noticed while he was in the service.
And I was stationed in Virginia Beach. I was stationed over in Florida. Friends I know that from different parts of the country, from Texas, people from Tennessee, they always had great high school youth sports coverage. And then when you come home, which you already know, in our area, you don't have that. What you have, hypothetically, Brockton makes it to the Super Bowl. Brockton plays BR. BR beats Brockton. And you might hear about who they play. But you don't hear the inside story of the hard work and the work ethic they did and how they prepared for that. And I think we're good at doing that, bringing that out to the kids when they're in the studio. Again, this is your hour. We're going to highlight Bridgewater Raynham Hockey. Coach, we are 1 win from clinching the OCL. Your first year as head coach.
4 Deep Sports Talk started out interviewing athletes and coaches from across southeastern Massachusetts in 2008. Since then, the program has branched out.
We have 4 major sports in our area, so we thought we'd use that as the idea to do it 4 Deep Sports. And then we ended up going into another sport, and then another sport, and then another sport. Next, we should have changed to probably like 22 sports deep, but that didn't seem like it had a good jingle. So again, we thought 4 major sports in our area, so we went with that idea.
Dominic has hosted many youth teams. However, his show has opened the eyes of viewers and listeners to other sport.
What penalties can you commit? Before we get, what penalties are there?
Many.
Many,
Forearms, elbows.
Forearm, what if you draw blood?
On purpose? On purpose.
Because not by accident, just happens.
Although he provides a stage for young players to boast about their team or season and have fun in the process, in the end, Dominic says he takes as much enjoyment from the program as the people he interviews.
The questions we usually ask them, they just feel accomplished. They feel like, oh, someone actually cares about, the little things that made our program work, and they get to express themselves, especially the seniors, and they get to, tell us the little accolades of, how everything works in the system. So I just think that's unique, and that just personally strives me to, well, you know what, next year's going to be a different team. Next year's going to be a different high school. So that's, what I mean, that's the mindset I usually go with.
Live streaming programs worldwide and social media are some of the improvements 4 Deep Sports Talk has made over the past 10 years, but for its host, there's still more he wants to accomplish.
Yeah, I want to get bigger. I really want these kids to stand out like you see. Like I mentioned, those other southern states that do it, I want this state, if possible, if it is possible, I can do it, to be as well, get the kids the same notoriety you see down south, so they have their own sports show. So there's a ticker going by, and you see your school update and stuff like that instead of waiting for the paper, or, sometimes we'll mention the high schools that we do get the input from, more input, more notoriety for these kids,
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to 4 Deep Sports Talk here at the news station, 1320 AM WARA. Once again, I am Craig Salvador, joined as always by Dom Damiano, Justin Ferreira, and Lucy Cabral, highlighting the 2017 Division VI state champions, Super Bowl champions, Middleboro High School football.
Wow, we were just looking at the total views watching us right now. We are up to 6,885. 6,885 total views right now.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing.
You guys ain't nervous now, right?
No.
That's funny. Yeah, we thought we'd just check it out. Hey, so I was curious. Now, Coach has to move on. You guys are going to go into big and better things. I guess we wish you guys the best. But if you guys could go back in time, you 4 guys individually, and you could work on something to get yourself ready. Let's say, play for him again. If you go back in time, what's the first thing that comes to mind? We'll start with Jeremy. Work it over. Something you would say, oh, I wish I worked on that. Because you always talk about you're a strong kid, but you don't give yourself enough credit. You're a pretty quick kid too. But again, what would basically you're giving advice to the younger kids that are trying to make his team next year, or trying to win a spot for the varsity job, because now these spots are basically wide open until coach says you earn it, right?
Yeah, I mean, definitely some advice for young kids is definitely don't skip any lifts, don't miss working out, because in the end, all that hard work, blood, sweat, and tears is worth the ring. It's worth it. Just don't leave no doubt that you should win.
There you go.
It's safe to say it pays off in the end.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, let's move that on. I just want to hear you guys' opinion.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Jeremy, and just not missing, summer lift. We're lifting, we have kids in there 5 days a week, run by Coach Sull, and sometimes Coach Kingman's there, but you just got to go to those when you can, and just honestly just get your body and yourself prepared for a long season, because football is a long season and it takes a toll on your body, so you just got to be prepared for it.
Yeah, I think Jeremy and Sean are exactly right, and I think for the younger guys, we view team lifts and summer workouts, not as a burden, but we have create memories doing that stuff, and getting the team together, and the vibe of everybody in the weight room together, working towards a common goal is something really special, and I think you know, looking back on it, like, you don't appreciate it at the time, but you know, you realize that those are the moments that get you to where you want to be, and just learning to embrace that and make the most of every rep and every you know, practice or lift. You know, it's something that really goes a long way.
I think like practice-wise, I think it's good to be able to watch the older kids and learn like your position and learn the plays. But I also feel like you shouldn't be afraid to go in and step in and try to learn it. You shouldn't be afraid to be able to make a mistake. So to the younger kids, try to get as much time as possible during practice to be able to learn your position.
This is Tony Lopes of Hometown Talk Radio, wanting to wish Dominic Damiano the best of luck with his 10th year anniversary for 4 Deep Sports Talk. A lot of people say he should have stayed with umpiring, but the strike zone is okay as far as 4 Deep Sports is concerned. Best of luck and good wishes.
I'm Chris Keach from the Morning Wake Up News here at WVBF. Want to congratulate Dominic Damiano and everybody at 4 Deep Sports for a great first 10 years. Congratulations, Dominic, for covering the kids in high school and youth sports all over southeastern Massachusetts. Hope you have another great 10 years, and we'll see you out in the gridiron next fall.
I just want to congratulate 4 Deep Sports Talk Show for having a 10-year anniversary and all you guys do for highlighting the high school athlete.
All right, right now we'll just take that call real fast, and we'll go over to the Sports Master. And here we go. You're next on 4 Deep Sports Talk. Hello.
How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. Do you have a question for the guys?
Yeah, of course. I got a question for the state champs.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. I need to know if the boys have been playing enough Fortnite lately.
Of course, squad dubs only.
Squad dubs. Oh, I do hear. Starting to stream or what?
What was that?
Starting to stream that or what?
Oh, yeah.
What do I do here? I got a question for Kingman, too.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. How did it feel, Coach, to get that ring after all these years?
I think it still hasn't sunk in yet, you know? I think I know who this is, so. No, it feels pretty cool. You know, I think, you know, and I've said this before, it's not something that, as a coach, you ever really, I don't think, personally, that you ever really think about. You know, that's not the reason you get into coaching.
Yeah.
I think it's more for these guys right here. I think that's every high school kid's dream at some point, you know, when you play high school football, is to be able to go and play at Gillette and walk on that field and be victorious at the end of the 4 quarters. And I think as the coaching part, that's just, you know, I said before, it's these guys working really hard and putting their heart and soul into everything that you say, and they believe in that kind of stuff. And, you know, I just kind of benefit from them doing that. And, you know, yeah, it's nice that, you know, you have a state championship, and it's cool. And, you know, I guess what it really makes you want to do is try to get another one. Once you get the first one, you know, that's the deal. You know, that's
kind of Belichick mentality.
I don't know about that, but I think I talk way more than he does, obviously. But yeah, no, you know, it's all about these guys, and you know these guys, and you know, I think it mattered to them. And, you know, there's maybe someone in the studio right now that may have called this early on in his senior year, and he told people to watch out for us. And we thought all along that we had the skill guys, and we were just kind of putting some things together. And you know, it's kind of funny because I look back to maybe this time last year, and another guy in this room, Sean, I might have told him, I said to him, "What have you guys ever won?" You know, he was telling me. I said, "What have you ever won?" You know, and now he can stick it right in my face. And, you know,
he's almost blushing if you can see him on TV.
I know what he wants to say, but so, you know.
Hi, I'm Robert Sherito, the Executive Director of ORC TV in Marion, Mattapoisett, and Rochester. We would like to congratulate and thank Dominic from 4 Deep Sports for 10 great years of coverage of high school sports here in southeastern Massachusetts, and we wish him many, many more years of success. Thanks, Dominic.
Hi, I'm
Karen Coy from McCann in Middleboro. I'm the Cable Access Administrator.
And I'm Zach Grundy, the video production technician for McCann in Middleboro.
And we just wanted to wish a happy 10th anniversary to 4 Deep Sports.
Happy 10th anniversary.
Doug Alves of Bridgewater Raynham Regional High School boys basketball here, and I want to wish Dominic Damiano and the rest of the 4 Deep crew a happy 10-year anniversary for the 4 Deep Sports Talk radio and internet show. Keep up the good work, guys.
Hey, welcome back. You are listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the news station, 1320 AM WARA, and online, 4deepsportstalk.com. You can watch the guys in studio or listen to the podcast. Or basically back in, the Middleboro area here again, 1320 AM. We are celebrating our 10th year, and like we started 10 years ago. And I actually got the date wrong. I signed the contract on January 8th, but the actual start date was January 5th. So, still New Year, right? Worked out good. We got another Middleboro team in, so it worked out good. I strategically planned it like that too. I was looking at my first radio contract, and I was like, oh, it's January 8th, and I looked at the date. I'm like, that's a Tuesday when I signed that. So he let me go on that Saturday, and they school you on how to help out because how to do how to run the board and stuff like that. And I actually talked to my first partner, Del Lane. He said, and I'll just say this, he's a guinea, right? And he has a serious, hey, how's it going over here type of, so you had him, so if he was asking you questions, so, hey, you fellas did pretty good, huh? That's how if he was saying, that's what he would say. So he'd say, hey, Dommy, we started January 5th. I said, no, January 8th, I'm looking at the contract. No, we signed the contract January 8th, you dope. That's when we signed the contract. We were on the 5th. I said, oh, wow, so I've been promoted on Facebook. You know what I mean? So, but, we have a call. Excellent. Hi, you're next on 4 Deep Sports Talk.
I got a question for Coach Kingman. I was at the Littleton Super Bowl game, and I'm thinking back to a play when it was 4th and 4 in the second quarter, and it kind of changed the entire complex of the game. Evan kind of made a ridiculous pass, and Colin made a big catch. Take me through that play call. What's that play called, and what made you think of calling it at that time? And then, Evan, how did you know to get your shoulders around to complete that pass? Because did you work on that in practice? So just kind of take me through what you guys do that play, please.
Boy. That play call. I think we called a timeout before that. Right before that. We may have come out in a formation, and I think we thought they may be in something. We weren't really sure. And we came to the sideline, and we ran a play, that same play a couple times earlier in the year. Actually, we ran it against East Bridgewater twice, I believe. And then we may have ran it one more time throughout the year. We didn't really run it much after that. We kind of thought people might have had seen it or things like that. But once you get that far along, if teams get that's a lot of film to watch. So we thought that we might get something. To be honest with you, it was really a stupid play call. The reason being is that we started in our 2x2 set, and we motioned across, and we had been planning all week. Anytime that we motioned across, we knew they were going to bring pressure off the backside edge.
Yep.
And that was something we were planning for. And for some reason, I still called it and ran the play into the pressure. We've probably been better off just starting off with a 3x1 and running it, which we'd done earlier in the year.
Right.
So what ended up happening is we ran the motion, we got the ball, we faked the toss to Jeremy, who gave a soft sell. I wouldn't say it was a hard sell, but he gave like he was going to get the ball, and then we ran our play, which was a naked to the left side, which we call Lenny, after one of our coach's father, because he loves the naked play. So we ran that to the left, and I think what helped was that kid, when he came off the edge, came too shallow. He did, that's
Right.
something that we talk about in practice all the time. If you're going to come off the edge, you got to get to the top shoulder of the deepest back there, and that at that point was Evan at quarterback. He was able to get out there, and that kid just didn't have a great angle. He got his hands on him and all that kind of stuff. The best part about that play, it wasn't even designed to go to Colin. He was actually on the back side of the play, and I think earlier in the year when we ran that, we ran it to the left side also. I think it was to the left side.
It was against East Bridgewater, if I
Yeah,
remember
against East
right.
Bridgewater, and Matt Crowley was running a little. He was supposed to run a little stock corner route on that. So he had a two-way option to run the ball or throw the ball. And what happened was Matt got covered on it. The kid
Yeah.
stayed with him. I think Colin earlier in the year said to Evan during practice or whatever, "Hey, I'm just going to creep across the field, and nobody's going to cover me anyways on that play." And then he can probably these guys can take you through the rest, because, I mean, I was usually when I know it was fourth down. I'm
Yeah.
usually going throw it away or get out of bounds, but
Right.
it was fourth down, so you couldn't do that at that point. So I think other words came out of my mouth that I can't say on the radio.
Thank
so.
God. All right, let's finish up that call. Thank you for calling. We have another call.
Yeah, no problem. See ya.
All right. Want me call if you can hold on 1 second, or we want Evan to finish that thought. He asked you about that. He was asking about that play.
Yeah, I think the few earlier times in the season that we ran that, it was kind of exactly like we drew it up. I was able to get around the overhang, and that kid being there kind of presented something. We knew that was going to happen, but luckily I was just able to get around him enough, and we work on throwing on the run and squaring up my shoulders every day at practice. So that was definitely something that helped. And I think that's probably what he was talking about a little bit. But I just knew that, however, we just needed to get that first down. And like Coach said, Colin had told me earlier in the season that, he'll be there. He'll be there, and he's going to break off his route. And luckily I was able to just know that he was going to be able to haul in that ball. And unbelievable catch. And I think that kind of turned the tide of the game a little bit. So.
Absolutely. All right, we'll take this next call. How you on next on 4 Deep Sports Talk?
All right, Dom, it's just Nate Rollins.
Nate, how's it going?
Good. I just had a quick question for Coach Kingman when you get a minute.
Absolutely, he's ready.
All righty.
All right,
Coach Kingman.
Go ahead, Nate, I'm sorry.
Yeah, not a problem. Coach Kingman, when did you realize you had something special with this team? Because I watched you guys a few times this year, covered you guys a few times, and you guys just really impressed me. So was there a specific play, a specific moment this season where you realized you had something special?
Oof. Oh, can you give me? Oh man!
Just off the cuff, what's the first thing that comes to mind? You know what I mean?
This year?
Yes, that's what you mean, right, Nate?
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
I mean, I think we knew all along. If you go back all the way to the summertime when we were playing in our passing leagues, and we started off in one passing league and then ended up stopping, and then we played in the Under Armour tournament and won our section for the Under Armour tournament against 40 other teams. We won that whole thing, and then we ended up going up to Peabody and played in the New Englands, in the Under Armour New Englands, and we lost to the DY team in the finals of that. Yeah. I think we knew skill-wise, offensively and defensively, that we were going to be pretty good. It was trying to figure everything out and making sure we were doing the right things. To be honest with you, I don't know if there was one specific play or game or anything like that. I think that for me, I just felt, even though we lost 2 games after the Rockland game, you don't always remember what you say after that game. But I remember being on their little infield, like the pitcher's mound there after the game, and it was a tough loss. It was our second straight loss, but I just remember for myself and for these guys, we kind of knew that we were in the tournament at that point. It was kind of a calming effect for us at then, and I just remember saying, "Hey, I'm going to work as hard as I can. If you guys are willing to work as hard as you can, I think we have a pretty good shot at this thing." And that was coming off a loss, So it was one of those things. Let's just forget about the last 2 games and what's happened before, and we know what we're capable of. Let's just kind of take a step back, relax, take a couple days off, and find out who we're going to play in the second season and go from there. But I think I said this after the state championship game. I mentioned this to a couple of reporters. If you've watched us enough, you don't give us the ball on the 50-yard line. Like that's just in my mind. Like you make us. Right. We're gonna score offensively. I think the other thing that was a little misleading is you looked at some of the the scores and the points and all that kind of stuff, it looks like if you look overall, we gave up, I think, 237 points this year in 13 games.
Right.
One of those games was 34-0 in the Thanksgiving Day game where we didn't play our guys in that game. And then some of our other scores that we gave up were a little bit later in the games and things like that. Besides that one game against Norwell where we gave up 34 points with our first group. But defensively, we did some things this year that I probably hadn't done. And our corner play this year was better than it ever had been, which allowed us to be a little bit more aggressive with our safeties. So when you had Colin and Cody playing corner for you most of the year, it allowed us to be a little bit more aggressive defensively, and it allowed, as the season went on, it allowed like Harrison LaPierre to come off the edge or blitz up the middle and make some huge plays for us. Or it allowed us against Norwell, for some odd reason, we put Matt Crowley, who was our safety, at defensive end, and he came off the edge and as a defensive end and hit the quarterback, and Sean had an interception on a big play like that. Things like that. We did some things that we hadn't done in years past because of some of the skill guys that we had and what we thought they could do. So I don't think there was one specific play. I mean, if I can go back around and think of every guy here and a play that they made or for us throughout the year that I thought was maybe their play. They may not think it was their play, but I mean, I'll go back to the East Bridgewater game. I think you were at the East Bridgewater game. The first run play, I mean, they had it bottled up, and this guy just took on it seemed like 37 kids out there, and he gets up and flexes to the sideline like, hey, we're going to have a day here, like things like that, or it seems so, you can think of a couple games. I look at Colin, for instance, but, it's like, all right, hey, we're playing Apponequet the first game, and we're just trying to kind of run the clock out here, and we throw a bubble out to the right side. Next thing it goes 57 yards, and you're like, oh, we got something here we can we can work with. We can throw the ball at the perimeter and go every single play, or, I mean, it may be one of the last play I was talking before about Evan. There was many a times, but I would start calling a play, and he's like, he just finished my sentence for me and run it out there. And, like he knew what I was going to call.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that, Sean had so many. I feel bad offensively because he could have played anywhere for us offensively. He probably could have started. But if you look at throughout the year, you were talking about that Rockland game, or there was, I think, against Dover Sherborne, he had a big catch in that game, or the Norwell game, or any of those games. He came in there and had huge third down receptions for us, where we didn't ask him to play a lot of receiver, and he did that. But I think the other thing he allowed us to do defensively was it was like a calming effect back there, that he lined guys up and allowed us to play more aggressively, because we knew that if something broke free, he's a really good tackler.
Right, Coach. I don't mean to cut you up, but we're out of time. Right, we're just about there.
Yeah.
Quick, before I go, I just want to thank everyone that supported us here at 4 Deep Sports Talk for the last 10 years. I want to give a shout out to Jim Jones from WARA. I want to thank Nate Rollins, who just called in. He covers Whitman Hanson. Nate, thanks for calling in.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Of course, Justin Ferreira, Craig Salvador, we have for a little bit longer. I also want to give quick shout outs on our 10-year anniversary to Jeff Fowler, Tony Lopes, Steve Callahan, I want to make sure I don't forget about John Locke, Brian Berard, and all these other high schools and youth groups that let us cover them for the last 10 years, and we're hopefully still going to be going strong. So for our 10th year anniversary, as we sign off, I want to thank Lucy Cabral, Craig Salvador, Justin Ferreira, and want to thank you guys for coming on. I know
Thanks
I can
for having us.
speak for the station and us. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we will catch you next time. Everyone have a fantastic weekend.
You're listening to WARA 1320 AM Attleboro.
Hey, Dom, congratulations again on 10 years of work at 4 Deep Sports. You've been doing a great job showcasing what it means to be a high school athletic director for communications. You've done a lot of work with not only local athletes, but also local students in the area. And one being myself, I really can't thank you enough for the amount of knowledge and experience that you've given over to me, and I can't wait to utilize it in my career.
Yeah, no problem.
Go for it.
Hey Dom, just want to say congratulations on 10 years at 4 Deep Sports Talk. I had the luxury of being your co-host for about a year, and one of the funnest times of my life covering all the high school and youth athletics in southeastern Massachusetts. And you know, you do a great job for what you do. I mean, not many people really have the joy that you have when you cover high school sports, and I hope that you guys get to celebrate another 10 years at 4 Deep Sports Talk.
Hi, my name is Ann Kerrigan. I'm the Assistant Director at East Bridgewater Community Access Media.
And I'm Russ Hannigan. I'm the Executive Director for East Bridgewater Community Access Media.
And we'd like to wish 4 Deep Sports a very happy 10th anniversary.
Yay!
Congratulations.
Well, John, it's hard to believe 10 years have already come and gone, and we're still chugging along here, John. Some great coverage for local youth sports across the region.
Now, a lot of people knew about high school sports 10 years ago. Now you have Dom coming along with 4 Deep Sports Talk for the past 10 years, really opening up the eyes of a lot of people in southeastern Massachusetts and across the country now. So happy 10th anniversary, Dom.
It's great to go beyond the headlines. We see the scores, we see the games, but Dom does a fantastic job bringing us behind the headlines, giving us some unique perspective on the athletes and their stories. So thanks, Dom, and happy 10 years.
Hello, and this is Jonathan Grabowski, Executive Director of Marshfield Community Television. And on behalf of MCTV, we want to wish 4 Deep Sports a very happy 10-year anniversary.
Alright, so I'm Justin Ferreira, and I'm also known as the Sports Master, aka. And now I gotta do shoutouts. So, shout out to everybody who works at 4 Deep Sports.
This is Pat Kingman from your 2017 Division 6 state champion Middleboro Sachems. We want to thank 4deepsportstalk.com and radio for their continued success in the celebration of their 10-year anniversary covering high school sports. We've been really fortunate that they've covered a lot of our games and promoted the Middleboro Sachems throughout the years.
Hello, I'm John McCall from FYI, and I just would like to say, Dominic from 4 Deep Sports, you're the man because you're celebrating your 10-year anniversary, and I think that's awesome. And I like the fact that you give back to the community by giving back to our children, and I just wanted to wish you the best of luck for another 10, 20, 30 years, whenever you want to pass that torch to someone else. But thank you so much, Dominic, for the great work you do at 4 Deep Sports. And I can't forget Lucy. Lucy Cabral, you do a great job backing Dominic up. You take care, and congratulations and happy anniversary.
Hi, this is Frank Walsh, co-host of Sports Wrap at Stoughton Media Access Television. I want to congratulate Dom and the team of 4 Deep Sports for 10 years of successfully telling the high school sports story. Congratulations once again. Here's hoping for 10 more successful years.
Konbanwa and welcome. I'm Rich Goulart, the Executive Director of Area 58 Community Access Media, and we'd like to give a big shout out and thanks and congratulations to 4 Deep Sports Talk Show and Dominic for their 10th year anniversary on the air. 10 years in public access is nearly a lifetime. Great job, and keep the shows rolling. Thanks a lot.
I'm Jim Jones from AACS and WARA 1320 AM, the home of 4 Deep Sports Talk. We would like to wish 4 Deep Sports Talk a big congratulations on their 10-year anniversary. Remember, 4 Deep Sports Talk, where high school and youth athletes come first.